Oh, oh, wait. Oh. Greetings. Welcome to Conversations with Nicole. I am Nicole Everett, your host, and Conversations with Nicole is a talk show based in Tallahassee, Florida, focused on connecting the community through conversations. And today is what I call Wellness Wednesday. Wellness Wednesday is an opportunity for you, me, and my guests to talk about whatever it is we want to talk about. And today we are discussing cognitive distortions. Cognitive distortions. I actually spoke on cognitive distortions on Monday's Hallelujah Morning Show with Michael Cork and friends to warm you all up for our discussion today. So I have Miss Cloteal Lee, who is no stranger to Conversations with Nicole. She is coming back. She's a licensed mental health counselor, and she is going to lead our discussion. Well, not lead our discussion. We're just going to have an interactive discussion about cognitive distortions. I know you probably hear that and like, what is that? Well, we're going to talk about it. Okay. So this is a safe space. I want you all to feel comfortable to ask your questions, to enter your comments. But before I bring Cloteal on, I want to hear from you. Where are you tuning in from? Where are you tuning in from? In the comments, if you will, put your city and state. We are live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube, as well as on Greater Works Network on RokuTV. So, again, I want to hear from you. So, I see a few of you already chiming in. Cousin Denise, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. She's in Texas. Also, cousin Rennie down in South Florida. We got cousin Raymond in Virginia. Mrs. Incognito in Apopka, Florida. Thank you for being here. We got Vanetta Blakely, clinician out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Thank you for being here. And Mom is in the house. Hey, Mom. Thank you for being here. All right. And cousin Rennie says she's in Plantation. All right. So tag a friend, let them know they need to be on here. We are, again, just trying to have these conversations around mental health and wellness in Black and Brown communities and trying to eliminate the stigma and encourage folks to get their checkup from the neck up. We need to do it. And yes, Miss Teresa Nix, Joe Ellen's restaurant here in Tallahassee. Yes, busy lady. I'm glad to see you today, and the food was really good today. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. So, y'all, today, before I bring Cloteal Lee on, y'all probably didn't even notice, but today is National Self-Care Day. So, I got my shirt on today that says what? Heavy on the self-love, okay? Because it is self-care day today. And so I took care of myself today a little bit. I slept real good last night. I got 8 hours of sleep last night, y'all. That's huge for me. Okay, huge. So I'm encouraging us. Give yourself some self-care. Okay, just a little bit. Find something. Take a hot bath, get a pedicure, massage, sleep, read a book, go for a walk, talk to a friend. Get some self-care. All right. All right. I see you, my sister Shayla, here from Miramar, Pembroke area down in South Florida, and Miss Lisa Johnson in Plantation, Florida. So South Florida is in the house tonight. I appreciate that. All right. So I am going to read Miss Cloteal Lee's bio. Cloteal is a licensed mental health therapist and the owner of the Branch House. She graduated from the Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, any rattlers in the house, with a Bachelor of Science degree in sociology with a minor in psychology. She obtained a Master's of Science degree in counseling and psychology with a concentration in clinical mental health from Troy University. She has over 14 years of experience working with a diverse population of individuals who have found themselves struggling in some capacity. She has experience in the public setting as well as controlled environments such as mental health hospitals and prisons. Cloteal created the Branch House due to her genuine passion for helping others understand and improve their lives. She understands that it is sometimes hard to open up and discuss your innermost thoughts and feelings, which is why she strives to create a welcoming therapeutic environment. So, y'all, help me welcome Miss Cloteal Lee.
Hello, hello. How are you, Nicole? How's everyone doing out there?
I'm doing good. Good to see you. It's been a little minute since I've
I
seen you.
know it's been a long time, too long, Nicole.
It is. It has. Good to see you. I'm loving the branch house in the
You
background. I love it.
see me? You see
I
me?
see you, girl. I see you. All right. So we got folks welcoming you, saying greetings. Sister Abanichi is on here.
Okay.
Uh, my sister Sharice the Boys, who was one of my classmates from Miami, she's on here. Everybody's just saying welcome. So we
I
all
see
glad
South
to
Florida.
see you. Yes, yes, yes. So, Clotilde, tell the people who are new to you, because we got a lot of first timers or folks that weren't on when you were back on. I think that was back in 2020, now that I think about it. But tell
Mhm.
the people, who are you? I read a little bit about what you do, but who is Clotilde Lee?
Well, you summed it up pretty good. But my name is Cloteal Lee. I'm a licensed mental health counselor in Florida and Georgia. I'm the owner of the Branch House. I recently, in October, went full time with my private practice. Prior to that, I was part time. I live in Apopka, Florida, married to a Daryl Lee, and I have one son, Zakiah Bush, and I have a grandson named True Sincere. So that is who I am.
Okay, nice. And so tell me about the name Branch House. What prompted that name?
Well, it's my mom's maiden name. So she always inspired me and encouraged me to open up my own practice and as well as to even become a psychotherapist because when I was younger, I used to love talking to people and I was talking to her about it. I think I was in middle school and she was like, "Oh, so you want to be a psychotherapist?" I was like, "Oh, I guess that's what I want to be." I didn't know the title of it. I just knew what I wanted to do. She told me the title, and the rest is history.
Nice, nice, nice. Is your mom's name Carolyn?
That's my mother in love. So
Oh,
my
okay.
husband's mom. So yes,
All
my
right.
mom is Loretta McClendon. She's deceased. She died in like 2021.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry to hear that. Well, your mother in love is here, so
Yes, I see you, Mama.
very good, very good. So, gosh, a lot has happened since we last talked, and congratulations on doing full-time therapy. That's awesome.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm very excited about it and I'm very happy. That's my passion. So it doesn't even feel like work.
That's great. That's
Hmm.
great. That's what you want. That's what you
Yeah,
want. Yeah.
absolutely.
For sure, for sure. So tell the people like who you serve and if you're taking new clients, and are you uh private pay only? Do you do insurance? So tell us a little bit about what your
Mhm.
offerings are.
Okay, so I offer individual, family, couples counseling, and I take several insurances, commercial insurance like Blue Cross, United Health, Cigna. I take different EAP, Cigna EAP, United Health EAP as well. And I also offer private pay and I offer a sliding scale that goes by income.
Okay. Awesome. 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 All right. And you are taking new clients?
I am taking new clients. Yes.
Okay. So she is in licensed in Florida and in Georgia, because I have both people, folks in Georgia and in Florida. So if you are interested in counseling,
Mhm.
Miss Lee is available.
I
Okay.
also offer retreats. I do wellness retreats. So
Okay. Tell us about it. Tell us about
so right now I have planned a women's wellness explosion. It is September 8th through 11th. It's in Jamaica. Um, in this wellness explosion, I'm calling it a wellness explosion versus a retreat because it's not in a secluded area where most retreats are. This time it's in a all-inclusive resort, a very nice one where we'll be doing all kind of different wellness activities. We'll have yoga, bonfire chat. We'll do wellness activities. We'll have a private dinner on the beach. We also will have a spa party. So different wellness activities as well as whatever the hotel or resort offers as well, and it's all inclusive food and drinks. So yeah, we still have a few slots left if anyone is interested.
it. That sounds great. And what were those dates again?
September 8th through the 11th.
Okay, September 8th through 11th. All right. So you still have an opportunity to check that out, and we'll get the information for folks that might be interested in signing up for that.
Okay.
All right, good deal. All right, so before we get started with our conversation, and I see a few people chiming in. All right, so put up let's I see Sharice's comment, and I don't know if Sharice you didn't hear, but she said she does accept insurance. You said Cigna
Mm.
and
Cigna,
United.
United, and also Blue Cross. So if you go on my website and click on, I think it's if you want to schedule an appointment or schedule a consultation, it'll show you my bio and every insurance that I take.
Okay, gotcha.
Mhm.
All right, and we'll put that information up at the end, Sharice. Okay. All right, we got Ashley Scott on. She said, "I can't wait. It's going to be so awesome." T.
Yes.
Right, and Felicia Thomas is on with us. She said, "Hey."
Hi.
Yeah, Felicia Thomas from Tallahassee. So thank you for being here. Felicia was on the show
Mm.
um the earlier part of the year. So thank you, thank you. All right. So before we get started, I have to read my disclaimer since I have a licensed clinician on it. Is that all topics, past, present, and future, on Conversations with Nicole are for informational purposes only. They are not to be used as a diagnosis for treatment for an answer to any personal issues related to the topic being discussed before, during, or after the program. All righty, there I said it. So let's dive in.
Okay.
Cognitive distortions.
Okay, so we are ready to get started with this. Cognitive distortions basically is an internal mental filter that tells you negative things. It's negative thinking, basic terms, negative thinking that you tell yourself. There are, I'm going to list a few of the main cognitive distortions. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And so this, I'm gonna do it like I do it with my clients because it's so funny when I read this to my clients or when I do this with my clients and I'm going down the list, they're like, "Oh, Miss Cloteal, yes, that's me. Oh my goodness, yes, that's me." This is one of my favorites because we all can we all have some of these in common. But
Mhm.
it's if you tend to do if you have a lot of them, that's when there's a problem. Or if you are fixated on a few of them, that can be a problem as well. But the cognitive distortions lead you to having anxiety, depression, imposter syndrome. I mean, and the list goes on. So we definitely want to get on top of those.
Okay.
So I'll start. The first one is all or nothing thinking.
Mm,
So there's no middle ground. Everything is black and white. If you tend to say, "Oh, I always get this right," or "I always get this wrong," the moment you say "always" about something, it's time to fact check
mm,
because that is definitely a cognitive distortion. And sometimes we tell ourselves things like that, like, "I never get it right. I always fail," that kind of stuff. Overgeneralization, forming a conclusion based on a single piece of evidence. So um, that's when you take one thing, one topic. For instance, I was anxious about saying my name on the first day of school, and I'm going to be anxious about talking in school all the time now. So I was anxious one time, I'm going to be anxious all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, for instance, like if it's your first day at work and you make a mistake on the job, I'm going to make a ton of mistakes. I'm going to always make mistakes, or I always make mistakes. I never get it right. So, always and never.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and and overgeneralization is taking it to the extreme. Um,
Gotcha.
Mental filtering, when you amplify negative details and filter out the positive. So you always taking a negative situation and never thinking about the positive things. For example, you see it a lot with sports. So say FAMU has won 7 games, right? So one game you mess up and we lose. I don't want to talk. I don't want to speak that into existence, but I'm just going to use that as an example. And then we say, "Oh, well, FAMU sucks. We suck. We didn't do a good job. We suck." So that's not necessarily true because we won 7 games, but now we're focused on this. We're hyper focusing on this one game.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to stop right there to see if anybody can relate to any of the ones I just said. So all or nothing,
Uh-huh.
overgeneralization, and mental filtering.
So I will say that I do I tend to catch myself
Hmm.
with the all or nothing one. Um,
Okay.
always and never statements. When I
Hmm.
hear someone say them, I just kind of it's it puts up a red flag for me to ask, is that really true?
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
so I question it when I hear it.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
and then that mental filtering piece, never thinking about or thinking never thinking positive about something or
Hmm.
turn something that is either positive or neutral into something negative.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, so that one I also try to check myself on as well.
Right.
So a few people are chiming in. Felicia said all three. All right. Thank you for sharing. Denise said all and nothing thinking. Yes.
That all or nothing will get us every time, because if you think about, even when you're talking to, be careful when you're talking to your significant other. I do in couples counseling, I correct them all the time. And
Mm-hmm.
because they'll say, "Oh, he never pays any attention to me," or "He never does this," or "She always does this," and I have to stop them right there.
Yeah.
Tell me a time when they did just what you said they didn't do, that
Mm,
they never did. And you always can do it. It's called fact checking. The bottom line is you have to fact check yourself.
yes. And so with the fact checking, what are some techniques that you might use for that?
So basically, the first thing you want to do with cognitive distortions is you want to become aware of it. So it seems like some people are aware of it. And
Okay.
then once you start to recognize it, then you start to fact check. Okay, so if I say, um, I never do great at counseling. Like I never get through to my clients.
Mm,
Um, and then I say, well, Teal, has any of is that true? And
mhm,
then I say, well, Teal, has any of your clients had success? Has any of your clients expressed to you that they had a good day? They followed your techniques. They did their homework. Well, yeah, all the time. Yeah, most of the time they do. Well, then I'm fact checking myself. That's a cognitive distortion that I fact check. And so it's not true. And what we do is tell ourselves these things and then we start to believe it.
mhm,
And that's what we don't want to do. And then when we believe it, we act on it. So we believe it, we think it, we believe it, and then we act on it as if it's true,
mhm.
which could be the wrong response.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Great. Great commentary. So what I heard you say was awareness, right?
Mhm.
So that takes a certain amount of honesty,
Mhm. Mhm.
right?
Oh yeah.
And being how do I want to say honesty, but also not being in denial.
Mhm. Mhm. That means
Mhm.
you're self-aware. You have to
Yes.
be self-aware.
Yes, 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 indeed. All right. We got a few folks that have commented. I saw you, Ozzy. Thank you for being here. I saw you, Whitney. Thank you for being here. And Lorraine Shepherd, she said, perfect timing for me regarding this conversation. Awesome. Johnny said mental filtering. So, Johnny, have you heard of mental filtering before? Did you want to, or was that maybe one of the ones that you
Like,
were saying that you have heard of or were familiar with. I see you, Pamela Jones Smith. Thank you for being here. And so, Sister Abeniche said, as humans, we live in a microwave world in which we want everything to manifest in the blink of an eye. Anxieties come from us trying to overthink the outcome instead of going through the process.
yes, that is so true. That's very true. Yeah.
Indeed, indeed. Okay. So, all right. So we've talked about a few cognitive distortions,
Mhm.
all or nothing thinking, overgeneralization, mental filtering.
We
Are
have,
there others?
yes, there are. And
Okay.
I know I want to see who is going to deny this one. Jump into conclusions.
Mm,
Mind reading. I do it. I do
mm,
it sometimes. Yeah. Someone guesses what someone else is thinking. That's self-explanatory. How often do we think we know what someone else is thinking, and we respond to it?
mhm. Yeah.
We respond to what we think somebody else is thinking all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely one that we should definitely work on in fortune telling. Someone thinks that a negative consequence is inevitable. I'm always going to be upset about the way I talk. So that's just an example of that. So you're fortune telling, you're projecting that, like that's, and you don't know that, and that causes anxiety. It causes you to feel that, and then
Mm-hmm.
you start to think that, and you start to behave that way. So we
Absolutely.
definitely want to. Um, and then there's magnification and minimizing. So having an expectation that something bad is going to happen can also be minimize the significance of an event or someone else's behavior. So, for example of that would be no one is going to listen to me because of my stuttering. So you're magnifying the fact that you stutter and minimizing that the fact that somebody will listen to you. So some of these run together because again, that one can also be jumping to a conclusion,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So that one is magnification, and then we have emotional reasoning.
Hmm.
That, oh my goodness, that one is, whew, feelings and emotions block rational and logical thinking. So I feel so foolish. I stutter before. I'm sorry. I feel so foolish when I stutter. Therefore, I am foolish. So
Mm-hmm.
now you're thinking that, and so now you're saying that that's what you are.
Mm-hmm.
So you're emotional about it, and now you're making excuses for it, like you're making it real.
Mm-hmm.
Reasoning with your emotions. Just say it backwards.
Yeah, yeah. So we have to definitely be careful with that. A
Mhm.
lot of times we merge our thoughts with our feelings,
Right.
and
Mhm.
we can have a thought, but there are also feelings that are oftentimes associated with those thoughts. But we can change our feelings by changing our thoughts.
Yeah.
So just because we are feeling a certain way about something does not make, I mean, it doesn't make that necessarily true in terms of maybe what I thought might be about it.
Mhm. Mhm.
Definitely gotta, as you said, fact check.
Yes.
Mm,
Yeah.
mhm,
And so the next one, and then we can pause. should statements, and a lot of us do it.
Okay.
Um, how often do you say, "Oh, I'm 35. I should have a child by now. Oh, I'm 35. I should um I should be finished with school now."
Mm-hmm.
So these are the should statements that you tell yourself, or um I should be married by now.
Mm-hmm.
There are several things. The list goes on about the should
Okay.
statements, but those are things that really makes us feel bad, and it also causes depression. So
Mm-hmm.
when you start to dwell on the things that you should be doing at a certain age, or you should be doing, um, well, who says that you should be doing? Where's the guideline that said you should be doing this? So that's how you fact check that.
Yeah.
Simple. Well,
Yeah.
who said that I should be? Are there other people my age doing what I think I should be doing? Or are there other people in my same situation? So if so, then who says that you should be doing that?
Well, and so that's just it, right? Oftentimes we participate in comparisons.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh,
so
that's another one. You
that's where the should be's come in because we are comparing ourselves to, like you said, other people that identify as ourselves, maybe that are our same gender or our same race or our same age or come from the same background or whatever, however we identify, you know,
mm-hmm.
compare ourselves with other people in those same groups. And so, um, that's where a lot of that should statement is. And
Mm-hmm.
I think social media, with the advent of social media and so many people, looking and watching what other people are doing as opposed to just focusing on themselves and what they
Mm-hmm.
should be doing.
Oh
That
yeah.
is another huge, I think, another contributing factor to the should statements.
That is true. That is true. And that comparison, you already mentioned it, that's another one.
Okay.
Comparing yourself to someone else's situation and making yourself feel bad because you're not where they are or in that situation.
Indeed. All right, we got a lot of comments, so I'm gonna
Mhm.
try to go
That's
back to some of these.
okay.
All right, so
I
let's see.
already see one that I cannot answer. That's above me.
Okay, all right. Let's see. All right, well, we got Cherise said it's all or nothing for her. Apaniche said, yes, I agree. We spend too much time in our heads, spend more time observing ourselves through a lens of curiosity and less judgment. So I'm gonna pause there just for a minute because I think like the last part of her comment is so critical. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we've probably heard the expression about having a childlike view of the world. I know as we um,
Mm-hmm.
mature and grow older, we are a bit more reserved or have boundaries and that sort of thing. And not to say that there's anything wrong with that, but that lens of curiosity, I think sometimes gets clouded as we get older, right? And so, I want to encourage us to do that, to, look through a lens of curiosity as it comes to life, right? Dream and if the dreams that you have are something that you really aspire to do, then move in that direction and do it, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, so we got Princess on. Thank you for being here, Princess. Appreciate you. And then Ashley said, that is so true, Nicole. You are spot on. I literally have to stop and take a moment to ensure I'm not responding with emotion. It takes practice. Yes, it does.
A
Indeed.
lot of it.
Mm.
A lot of it.
Yes, 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 yes. Let's see. Princess said, I know I do at times when being around others who talk is this. Okay. Yeah, you definitely have to. There's so much negativity coming at us from a lot of different directions, whether that is through these devices, through media. Media is all around us, whether that's radio or TV or billboards or signage or, what have you. again, we're getting a lot of messages, so you definitely have to fight against the negativity. All right. And then Sister Benici said, Miss Lee, what is your observation on how the solar radiation and geomagnetic activity is causing cognition and mental?
Listen, honey, I have
Okay.
no idea.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. We'll have to get somebody else to look into that one. But thank you for the question. All right, and Cherie said I'm bad at that one, and I think she was talking about the should statements or the comparisons. So thank you for sharing. Miss Incognito said I'm definitely a user of should be statements. It's a habit I need to break. Okay, well we gonna start today. How about that?
Mhm, mhm.
Indeed. All right. Cherie said, I do the should statements, but I'm getting better catching myself. Awesome. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. All right.
Yeah.
So we are at about halfway through our talk. I know that time is going by real fast, but I
Mhm,
want to, for those of you who may be just joining us, let you know that I'm on here with Miss Cloteal Lee of the Branch House, and we are talking about cognitive distortions, which are internal mental filters that tell you negative things. So it's really negative thinking. And,
mhm,
who knew that there were so many variations of negative thinking, but there are. And so we've talked about all or nothing thinking. We've talked about overgeneralization. We've talked about mental filtering, mind reading, magnification, emotional reasoning, should statements, and comparisons. Don't tell me there's some more.
oh, yeah.
Oh,
There
okay. What you got?
there's more. Um, so we did should statements. You also have labeling and mislabeling, and
Mm,
that's when someone describes a mistake or overgeneralizes an emotion in an emotional way. So an example of that would be she's totally insensitive. She knows I stutter and still asks me questions. So now you're taking it personal and you have mislabeled what she was trying to do. Like the person might not have meant to, um, like it's what it wasn't a personal attack on you because you stutter, and so now you're internalizing that this person has done something to harm you.
mm,
So you're labeling it as insensitive. She's insensitive. So you're saying she's an insensitive person, and it clearly could have been a mistake, or she didn't know that you were stuttering.
gotcha. Okay. So labeling or mislabeling. Okay.
Hmm.
Gotcha.
Basically, when you are blaming someone that may not even know what's going on with you,
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
labeling that person like, oh, she's the bad person now.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Okay. That did I see Mr. Lee on here?
Yes.
Okay. He said great conversation. Thank you for being on here, Mr. Lee. And my godmom Corliss just logged in from Miami. Thank you for being here. All right. Sister Abanishi said, as a melanated people, we are definitely in denial when it comes to our mental health. These platforms are critical. Indeed. Thank you so much. We got to keep these conversations going and be aware, be mindful, have some awareness as it relates to this so that we can make changes to those behaviors, right? For the better, because we're trying to be our best selves. All
Right.
right. Yes, I see you, Pumpkin. Good evening, good people. Thank you for being here. All
Mhm.
right. Please don't tell me there anymore because we at about like 10 now. Is it?
I'm
I-
just going to do one more, and this is leading you probably into another one that you're going to want to, another show you're going to want to do with
okay.
somebody. Always being right.
Oh,
So they need to be right about themselves and other people. So the example for that would be you don't know what you're talking about. I know that technique won't help me. So
okay.
like maybe somebody compliments you and you say, "Oh no, oh no, I'm not good at that." You know more about yourself than anybody and nobody can tell you anything.
Hmm.
especially about yourself, and the need to always be right.
Mm,
So when I say always need to be right, that leads me into being a perfectionist too.
okay.
And you know how you go on an interview and people ask you, what's the question that they ask you? What are some of your downfalls or something you need to work on?
What's your weakness?
What's your weakness? There it is. But we love to say, oh, I'm a perfectionist. But I'm going to tell you that being a perfectionist is not good at all. And it comes with several mental health issues. And if you think I'm joking, Google it right now.
Well, tell us about it. Tell us about it.
It is terrible. It leads to anxiety, it leads to depression. It makes you feel like you always have to be right. It causes you to procrastinate. So if you wonder why you have an assignment that comes up and it may be difficult for you, so you wait to the last minute because you're procrastinating. You want to get it perfect. You don't think you're going to be good at it. That's an example. That's just one example of being a perfectionist. But being a perfectionist is really that's if you have let me see if I can give you another example. I'm gonna give you an example, but I'm not gonna call any names.
Okay.
So if you have a project that you're working on, but you never push that project through
Mhm.
because you feel like you have it done, but oh, this part of it is not good. This part of it is not good. So I'm not gonna push it through yet. You don't push it through, somebody else comes and does it. Now you're upset because you could have done it, but you wanted it to be perfect. Everything has to be perfect. So and what that does is just causes all kind of panic attacks. You see it in a lot of gifted kids um,
Mm,
where they won't answer a question because they don't know the answer. They're not 100% correct on the answer, so they
mm,
won't even try to answer it.
mm,
Um, that's another example of that. And a lot of it stems from childhood and things we've gone through where people have told you, oh, you better make an A. You better get this right. Oh, you made a mistake on this, or you're criticized for different things when you're younger. And now uh, kids internalize things too. So now it's, oh my God, I got to get this right. It has to be absolutely perfect. So I'm just giving y'all a snippet of that because that's a different show. That's a different show. And you would be surprised how bad it is to be a perfectionist.
mhm. Yes. Mm. So I didn't think about that as a cognitive distortion, but I can
Mhm.
definitely see it now, based on our conversation. So a couple of folks have chimed on. I see you, Mama Yada. She said, greetings all. Ebony, said, perfection is the greatest evil.
Oh my God, it is.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So my sister says she's a perfectionist. Melanie Key, she said, I am truly enjoying this. Thank you, ladies, for taking time to talk about this mental health.
Hi, Melanie.
Okay. Um, let's see. Shayla, my sister said, it makes her very anxious. Indeed. All right, so we got to work through that. That sounds like that might be.
That's another show because I'm telling you, it leads to depression. Like it can make you so unhappy with life.
Hmm,
So you definitely don't. I mean, it's a beast. It's a real beast.
gotcha.
Mhm.
Benicia said, perfectionism leads to productivity, always trying to control the outcome.
Mhm.
Mm,
Mhm.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Miss Teresa wants to know. She says she tends to be a perfectionist, but she's okay with being wrong. I just like for things to be on point. Are there levels to perfectionists?
Somewhat. Either it's either you're a perfectionist or you're not. kind of, but yeah, there are different levels to it. You like anything else, mild, medium, severe.
Okay,
So it's not a diagnosis. It's not a diagnosis, but
right.
it is symptoms of a it's a symptom of a diagnosis.
So we got Dr. Terry Parks on, who is a psychologist out of Atlanta. He says, "Sorry, I'm late. Are we talking perfection or OCD?"
We're talking perfection, but you also know that that is a symptom of OCD. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay. So, I assume that for OCD, there's some type of assessment or something that can be done to determine if somebody has OCD.
Yeah, you can be evaluated by a mental health professional, and usually, like in your intake process or a couple of sessions after that, if you're concerned that you have symptoms of that, you can speak to a professional, and
Mm.
so they'll know already, like coming in, that you want to be evaluated for that.
Okay, gotcha.
Mhm.
So Dr. Park says, but don't we all like some type of order?
Yeah, some type of order, but um, that's different than being a perfectionist. Of
Mm-hmm.
being a perfectionist, you have some emotional responses to um, not being in order,
Mm-hmm.
and not just oh my God, my day's messed up. This isn't in order. Like it really bothers you. It makes you emotional. So that's when it's a problem.
Mm-hmm. So, Teresa said, so perfection is a symptom of OCD, but not necessarily the reverse. She's asking the question.
Let me read that again. So
So,
okay, so perfection is not a diagnosis.
right. But it can be it's a symptom of OCD, but OCD is not a symptom of perfectionism.
I wouldn't say so because perfectionism is not a diagnosis.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. And OCD is.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Well, it sounds like you said, again, I didn't realize perfectionism was part of that cognitive distortion, but it sounds like that could be, like you said, a whole show by itself.
Hmm.
Sister Abenichi said, Perfectionists must learn to let go of the need to control how others perceive them."
Very true. Yeah, that
Mm,
is absolutely true.
never.
And that's part of it, and that's where it stems from. Like childhood and other situations where they haven't been, in control.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of responsibility was put on them to make them feel that they needed to get it right and get it perfect.
Absolutely. She said most perfectionists are perfecting everything outside of themselves while their inner world could be in turmoil. Order outwardly, chaos inwardly. Ooh, that is spot on. And again, safe space. So, for those who have identified perfectionism as an issue for them, would you say that that kind of amply describes what you kind of go through in terms of order outwardly, chaos inwardly? Let us know if that is if that kind of describes it. Um, Dr. Park said order, routine, schedules, that is more so OCD. I think
Mm,
it could be to the extreme, right?
yeah, to the extreme.
I mean, I like order, I like routine, I like schedules, but
Yeah.
that I definitely don't think I'm
It
OCD.
has it has to be affecting you in some kind of way when it's not like that. And I mean affecting you emotionally, mentally.
Mhm,
And that's
mm,
when you know it's something wrong with that or
gotcha.
it's a problem.
Okay. So
Almost like and it's not just part of it is order, routine, schedule, but there's different like types of it because some people that wash their hands a lot, and not just wash your hands a lot. It's levels to that. So some people are like real like dealing with germs and stuff like that. I'm trying to see how I want to explain this to you, but you know what I mean. People
I
that
know some people like that.
big and yeah, that's a little, and they wash their hands a whole lot. And I've had clients that literally wash the skin off and rub the skin off because they felt like they, had germs.
Okay.
So
So my mom asked, "What is OCD?"
hold on one second.
So
Okay. Um
OCD ma is obsessive compulsive disorder.
oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was still trying to read the I'm sorry. So did she want to know the definition or
I think she just probably wanted to know what the
I'm
acronym
so
stood.
sorry. I'm so sorry. I was reading the comment.
It's okay.
Okay. Um, did that answer her question?
I hope so. And she probably is gonna want to know the definition. So if you could define it for her, that would be great.
Okay. Okay. Um, so just to tell you a little bit about OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. There are different ways that people can have OCD, like the one I mentioned with the germs. You see people that clean up a lot and think they have to have everything in a certain place. And if it's moved, it bothers them. Like emotionally, they might have a whole meltdown or get irate. So anything you kind of obsess about and it affects you emotionally
Mm,
or mentally.
okay. Okay. Thank you. All right. So, Cork, I'm coming back to you. I saw your question. He said, "Is perfectionism used as a low key flex? I rarely hear people accused of it. I usually see them claim it."
Okay. I got it. Hold on. Okay. So a lot of people do use it as a flex. And that's another reason why I love to bring that up, because we do. And we love to say it in interviews because we don't want to say anything negative about ourselves. So we say perfectionism or we're perfectionists. But it's it shouldn't be a flex.
Mm,
it really shouldn't be a flex. I would not want to be a perfectionist at all. I wouldn't.
gotcha. Okay. All right. So Avanisha said OCD is more like a spectrum of disorder which becomes obsessive. And then I think Dr. Part's trying to make a joke. I ain't get it though. He said obsessive compulsive disorder, the definition is in the first two words of
That's true.
both.
That's true. But sometimes I just like to break it down because they did teach us in school to write and say things in basic terms so that everybody can understand what
And
you're saying.
indeed, indeed. All right. Whitney said, "This was a much needed conversation. I have been working on being nice to myself. So any thought or action or encounter that contradicts my happy space, I release it." I think that's great. That's great. Keep working on that. And I encourage all of us to.
That is a part of self-care.
Mm,
Taking care of the way you think.
indeed, indeed, indeed. All right. Dr. Park says they are rigid in their thinking, and I think that may have been the OCD folks. All
Mhm.
right. So, ooh, okay. So the perfectionism, boy, that's a whole thing right there. All right. Kimberly Jeff said, "Thanks for breaking it down, Chloe. Appreciate you."
You're welcome.
All right. So, is there anything else that we need to know about these distortions? And again, I will, before you answer, just kind of give a quick recap. All right. So, cognitive distortions, it's all about
The way
negative thinking,
the
negative thinking,
mhm.
right? And so some of those components of that are all or nothing thinking, overgeneralization, mental filtering, mind reading, magnification, emotional reasoning, should statements, comparisons, labeling and mislabeling, and always being right or perfectionism. Okay.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, the cognitive distortions again is a negative way that you talk to yourself. Your negative thinking. You tell yourself negative things, and you start to believe it about yourself. Also, a way to challenge those thoughts is first to start recognizing it. Pay more attention. Like you see the list of them, and if there's some way that I can send an attachment or reach out to me, if you go to my page, I think my email address is on there somewhere. Um, but reach out to me and I can send you a copy of the distortion so you can start to work on that. Um, so what you would do is you would go down the list and see which ones you tend to deal with the most. And then you would try to recognize them and become more aware of it. And once you're aware of it and you recognize it, then you start to challenge it. You become an investigator. So basically, you fact check what you're thinking.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff. Good stuff. And we'd be happy to share that list with the viewers. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we can get that out. All
Okay.
right. So Abenichi said prayer and meditation. We spend too less time with our inner workings. Shut down the negative thinking patterns.
Oh, I can definitely. So the meditation is a good way. Mindfulness. I don't know if you all have heard of mindfulness, but
Mm-hmm.
look mindfulness up. Mindfulness meditations, and mindfulness techniques where you can bring yourself back to awareness when you're having a moment or you are having anxiety or just need a moment. Take
Mm-hmm.
time to do some mindfulness techniques to bring you to your awareness and take your mind off of what you're going through.
Okay. All right. Any other solutions? Because I know we talked about fact checking and awareness and recognition, meditation, mindfulness techniques. Any other solutions that you might suggest?
I like what Terry says, thinking. You're right.
Yes.
um,
Yes.
um, so yeah, what was that question again? I'm so sorry. I
It's
got
okay. Any other techniques that you might? I see.
oh
Evidence
yes.
learn how
So
to breathe.
breathing, yes. Journaling is
Mm-hmm.
another one that you can do.
Mm-hmm.
um, when you start to get upset, you also can do. I don't know. I need to give you Nicole. You said you have a way that you can get the list to them. Can you also get techniques?
Yep. I sure
Okay.
can.
Okay, because I have a few good mindfulness techniques that I can send out. And also, I don't know if you all like to do coloring, but there are adult coloring books
Okay.
and you can also do mindfulness techniques with that. So mindfulness is basically you can do walks. So if you go on a walk and the key is to focus more on right now, what you're doing right now. So if you're walking, you would more so pay attention to your surroundings, call out your surroundings. Um, yep, nature walk. Somebody said nature walk. Yes. So if you're for example, if you're doing a nature walk, and you see a bird, maybe you say what color the bird is. I'm looking at a bird, is this color? I see four trees, and you count the trees. And if you're doing that, if you notice, you don't have time to think about anything else because you're focused on what you're doing. It's a neat technique, the mindfulness techniques. Also, you can do it when you're eating, which is good for dieting if you don't want to eat too much because they say you're supposed to eat and put your spoon down or your fork down. But if you do mindfulness eating, you won't eat as much as well. That's another show too, mindfulness. So I'll give you quite a few shows.
Uh-huh. You just booking yourself for the future. That's all.
Ah, I told you I'm shy.
Whatever, ma'am. All right. So Dr. Park said, "What a perfect show." And he also listed some techniques: mindfulness, distress tolerance, emotional
Yeah.
regulation, middle path validation, and interpersonal effectiveness skills. Ooh, that's a mouthful. Yeah, we gonna have to break all of that down. All right. Sharice wants to know, when is part two? This segment is really good and much needed. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. All right. So you gave us a whole host of solutions, which I'm glad to hear. And you will share those techniques as well
Mhm.
as mindfulness techniques, and we'll
Mhm.
share that on the Conversations with Nicole Facebook page and IG
Okay.
page. So yes. All right. Carolyn said, great information. Sister Abeniche said, thank you so much for your wonderful energy and
Thank
jewels of wisdom.
you. Thank you.
Yes, yes, you did it again, sis. Great show. Thank you, Mama Yada. Thank you for being here. So shout out to Yada. Melanin Mothers Meet is hosting a week's worth of events for Black Maternal Health Week, which is April 11th through 17th, and I'm moderating a town hall. I forget the date and the time, so Yada, if you want to put it in the comments, please do. But that is coming up. And so my guest on Monday is a doula. And so we talked about the theme for Black Maternal Health Week for 2023, which was Our Bodies Belong to Us, Restoring Black Autonomy and Joy. Yes. All right. So, Dr. Park said he's trained in DBT. Mindfulness is the first module. He said we need a show on mindfulness. So it sounds like y'all gonna come back and do a tag team. I think that's what's in order. We just gonna have to schedule it for the two of you all to come back and talk about mindfulness. All right.
Mhm.
All right. So Yada said April 12th at 6 p.m. Yes, at the Children's Services Council conference room here in Tallahassee. So I will send out some information regarding that as well. Okay, Miss Cognito said this segment was amazing, thought provoking, definitely putting these self help techniques in action. Great panel. Thank you. Appreciate it. And my sister gave us lots of hearts. So thank you, Shayla. We gonna work on that perfectionism, girl. All
Mhm.
right. And Yada, you are welcome for the shout out. My pleasure. Okay, so how can folks connect with you?
You can reach me. I think my website was up there, www.mybranchhouse.com.
Yeah.
And my phone number is 850-284-8325.
How you got an 850 number?
It's the same number. You can catch me anytime.
Okay. So
I
you are
never use it. I
right.
do have an Orlando number, but I don't know it by heart, so I just use the one I know.
All right. So Miss Lee is from the Tallahassee area, but she lives in Orlando. So
Mhm.
yes, but serving clients again in Florida and Georgia, which she's licensed in both. So, and she is taking new clients. She does accept a lot of different insurances, as well as she does private pay and sliding scale. So again, I'm
Mhm.
bringing the clinicians to y'all to utilize. So there is no health without mental health. So you need to get a mental health checkup, just like you get that physical checkup every year. Get a mental health checkup. All right.
That's true.
Um, yes, I see you, Kiosha, Kiki, Miss Fine. Thank you for being here. Sister Ebonici said, thank you for an amazing show. Our pleasure. Y'all, we need you all to subscribe to the Conversations with Nicole YouTube channel and play some of the shows. We got lots and lots of shows out there, okay? And we need like 4,000 viewing hours rather, 4,000 viewing hours. So within a 12-month period. So that's what we're shooting for. I looked at my numbers today and I'm just under 2,800 viewing hours. So play the shows while you working out, while you going for that nature walk, while you washing dishes, doing laundry.
Mhm.
Play the show. You don't have to watch us. We just sitting here talking, but just play it. We might say something that resonates with you, that can help you. All right. All right. Ebonici said, may the ancestors bless your gift, Miss Lee. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for having me, Nicole.
My pleasure. And you have to come back. I'm gonna coordinate with Dr. Parks for that mindfulness show. So don't think I forgot to let them know the show, okay?
Okay.
All right. Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate y'all, our viewers, for joining us for this great conversation. And let's keep the conversation going. Let's keep the conversation going. Share this with a friend that you think may benefit from it and can utilize it. Let's see. See, y'all just said, and a good thing about YouTube, you can move around your phone and still hear. Yes, you can. So Kiosha wants to know, does it count if we watch the same show multiple times? It does count. So yes, just keep playing them. Keep playing them. Keep playing them. All right, good deal. We are going to bid you all good night. Have a great rest of the week. I know this is Easter resurrection weekend for a number of folks, so y'all be safe out there, and we will see y'all. Oh wait, I forgot Friday show. Friday season 12 episode 4 features Dot Emmon Johnson, first black woman elected um, mayor of city of Tallahassee. She will be on our regular season, which is on 7 a.m. on Conversations with Nicole YouTube channel, as well as on Greater Works Network. But after it plays, it's on there, so you can watch it at your leisure. But great conversation. She wrote a book about First in Tallahassee. She interviewed about 60 people that are highlighted in that book, which is first Black folks that have done stuff in Tallahassee. So it's absolutely phenomenal. But anyway, she will be on, so check that out. All right, thank y'all again, and Cloteal Lee, we will see you soon.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Y'all have a good
Good
night.
night.